Welcome back to another episode of the Basement Breakdown. Guys, we're back and we are almost at the UFC White House card, but we have one more week to go and we also have the Netflix card this weekend, which, I mean, I'm not buying into the whole fact that it's going to compete in any which way with the UFC. I think it's a pretty dog shit card, all things considered, so I'll talk a little bit about it at the end. I think something that's kind of funny that you could mention, not funny, but it is, happening, is on the broadcast team, it is including Jon Jones and former heavyweight Cain Velasquez. So that is something to be said about that. It's kind of cool. It will be more of a spectacle, and I don't think I'm going to tune in for many of the fights, except for the Nate Diaz versus Mike Perry fight. I'll probably tune in for that. Without further ado, let's get into... one more thing. I am kind of upset that they didn't announce Conor versus Max Holloway. Just because, I don't know. I've been talking a lot about it with my friends, and there's that spot open for International Fight Week, and it just keeps getting closer. And I thought perhaps, during UFC 328, they just might drop the ball and, tell us that. But not yet, so we're still waiting. But yeah, let's get into this card. It's a bit of a stinky card, but yeah. We start off in the women's strawweight division. We have Shauna Bannon versus Nicolle Caliari. Off the bat, I am going to go with Nicolle Caliari. Shauna Bannon, I took against her last time she fought Sam Hughes. She got submitted. Before that, she fought Pooja Tomar, an Indian chick where she was getting pretty fucked up, and then she managed to get a submission. She's a very bad women's MMA fighter. If you watch her fights, she kind of just throws a kick out there. Doesn't really have great striking. She's very odd. I guess she is from, the Conor McGregor side of things. So from a company standpoint, I guess they wanted to try and build her into something, but she's pretty awful. Nicolle Caliari is also a minus, I think, 200 favorite in this fight. And while she's not necessarily, great, losing her last fights to Carly Judice and Ernesta Caracates, I do think she's a much better striker than Shauna Bannon, and that's kind of what I see from it. I don't think Shauna Bannon is very good. I can see Nicolle Caliari winning this fight via decision. I guess Shauna Bannon has she's okay in her guard, but I just don't really want to say too many good things about her. I do think she'll lose this fight by decision, and that is how we're going to start off the night. We move up to the flyweight division. We have Luis Gurule versus Daniel Barez. I do like Daniel Barez. He was in a very tough fight with prospect Andre Lima last time out, where he got submitted in the third round. And his opponent, Luis Gurule, has been going up against, his last opponent, Alden Correa, I rate very highly, where he lost a decision against him. Before that, he lost to Jesus Aguilar. And then before that, he lost to Ode Osborne, where he got TKO'd, which is not a great look. And on the flip side of things, he started off his career a lot more hot. And I just think Daniel Barez is a much better fighter than Luis Gurule. I think he's going to struggle heavily with his pressure. And I could see another decision because, honestly, Luis Gurule is a pretty tough guy. I mean, Ode Osborne does have some power. But, yeah, I think Daniel Barez is there's a reason he's a favorite for this fight, and I'm going to take him over Luis Gurule. He's tough. He's got a chin, but, yeah, going to have to go with that. All right, another chick fight. We have, Elise Ardelean versus Polyana Viana. Polyana Viana is very, very not good at anything. That's just the way I would really put it. She's 13-8 in her MMA career, and her opponent, Alice Ardelean, being 11-7. It's not that much better, but shit, she's got one win, I believe, in the UFC, and if it loads, or is it one win? No, she's got 3 wins in the UFC, maybe 4, but she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losses. So she's putting up some numbers. She's on a 3-fight losing streak against Jacqueline Amarin, Jillian Robertson, and Lasmin Lucindo. Not bad fighters. She's lost to Tabitha Ritchie. She's definitely fought the harder schedule than her opponent, Alice Ardelean. But Ardelean's coming off of a 2-fight win streak against Montserrat Ruiz and Rayan Dos Santos. These people are absolutely fucking nobodies in comparison to the people that Polyana Viana's fought. I just think that she sucks. So I do think Alice Ardelean will win this fight. I think she's got good pressure. I think she'll control her for a lot of the fight, and I just think she's better. Like, Polyana Viana is decent on the feet, but I just don't think she's better than Atlas Ardelean. I think she'll get touched up, and it'll be another women's decision, probably 30-27, maybe 29-28, and Polyana Viana will not have a job in the UFC post this fight, and we're very sorry about that. This one, we have a couple underdogs on the card, and there's some pretty close odds for these fights. And this one is an underdog pick that I'm thinking of taking. Cody Brundage versus Andre Petroski. Cody Brundage is 11-9, and like, he doesn't want to be 11-10 because this is probably his last fight. But like, he's taken on like a bunch of really tough dudes. Dante Johnson, last time before that, Cam Rouston. He lost a decision to Dante Johnson where he always looks decent in his fights. And with Andre Petroski, he got KO'd by Cam Rouston in the first round. And on short notice, Cody Brundage was taking it to Cam Rouston in their fight. He's had a rough go of it, Cody Brundage. I think his last win was against Julian Marquez, which was like a really, really like back and forth fight until he ended up knocking him out. But Andre Petroski, I don't know, like he just kind of looked like shit recently, which is my thing. I mean, he lost to Cam Roaston last time out, and before that he lost to Edmund Shabazian via decision. Before that he beat Rodolfo Vieira in a fight where he got dropped in the first round. Like, he's kind of weird. Like, I don't know about this. Like, Cody Brundage, I think he's live to win this fight and potentially get the TKO. Just because of his style. Like, MMA math doesn't always work because, I mean, Andre Petroski beat Rodolfo Vieira, who Cody Brundage lost to. But, like, I'm going to take Cody Brundage in this fight as an underdog. I think that he's live to get it done. So I'm going to go with him by a TKO in the second round. I just from what I've seen from Petroski, like, I don't know. And I like Cody Brundage, and I want to go with him for his potential last fight in the UFC. So hopefully he pulls it off. He's only 31 years old, and he's had like 19 fights in the UFC. So it's like a lot, and he fights very often. So I really hope he gets to keep his job because he's definitely a fun watch. Another women's fight. We go to the women's bantamweight division. We have Jacqueline Cavalcanti coming in at a number 13 in the women's bantamweight division. Ketlen Vieira, number 6. Ketlen Vieira has been on a win-1, lose-1 schedule, while Jacqueline Cavalcanti has been on an absolute smudge fest. She's beat the likes of Mayra Bueno Silva. She's beat Julia Avila. She's 10-1 in her professional career, undefeated in the UFC. Jose Nunez, Nora Cornhole, some decent fights. And Ketlen Vieira, last time losing to Norma Dumont, winning against Macy Chasson, dropping it against Kayla Harrison. Win 1, lose 1, as I said. I'm going to go with Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I think she's a great striker, and she's really fun, and she could potentially be a contender in this division. Ketlen Vieira is heavy on the clinch, heavy on the control. Going to be looking to keep her against the cage, land a lot of knees and shit like that, takedowns and such. I don't think Jacqueline Cavalcanti will let her get to her game. I think she'll have more volume, kind of in a similar way that like Norma Dumont did against her, but I think she'll be more crisp. I really do like Jacqueline Cavalcanti, and I think she'll win via striking. I just think she'll be better on the feet. Ketlen Vieira will be looking to clinch up. Tommy Gantt, who is a 33-year-old prospect, who is very sought after, was supposed to be fighting Trey Ogden, but now he's fighting a guy named Artur Minev. And this is like, I don't know who this is, honestly. I'm just looking at him for the first time. Headhunter, he's 7-0. A picture of Kamzat comes up when I search him up. He's from the Ukraine. He's 5'9". He's fought in Fury Fighting Championships, so Fury FFC. I mean, like, Tommy Gantt's 11-0, and he's fucking dangerous, man. Like, I don't know who this other guy is, and I was gonna pick Tommy Gantt to beat Trey Ogden, but Tommy Gantt against Adam Livingston on the Contender Series, like, he's very good on the ground. I feel like he's very good overall. Trey Ogden was an opponent who's kind of like mid everywhere, so I was like kind of excited to see how Tommy Gantt goes up against him, being that he's been in the UFC for a bit. But I mean, I don't know who Artur Minev is. I'm going to go with Tommy Gantt unless this guy's like something I just, haven't seen before and I watched someone's video and they're able to just tell me something about him. But I rate Tommy Gantt. I think he'll fucking he should win this fight. He should submit the dude or knock him out. Should finish the fight. Super short notice, couple days. Yeah, give me Tommy Gantt. We move up to the light heavyweight division, and this is another potential underdog I do want to take. We have Ivan Erslan versus Tuco Tokkos. I think Ivan Erslan's like a -150 favorite. Last time he got submitted by Jimmy Crute. Before that, he got decisioned by Navajo Sterling, where he got fucking taken down a bunch of times. That's kind of my thing. Tuco Tokkos is a bum? No, he hasn't won his last fight. He hadn't won a fight in the UFC until he won his last fight against Junior Taffa, where I took him when other people took Junior Taffa. Just Junior Taffa sucks on the ground. So we don't really know from Tuco Tokkos because he hasn't won a fight besides that. He lost to Navajo Sterling, but he was able to take Navajo Sterling down in their fight while he did get outstruck, which is something that his opponent Ivan Erslan was not able to do. He's fought guys like Umar Sy and Zhang Minyang who are like, I don't know, Umar Sy hasn't aged as well, and Zhang Minyang, got knocked out by Johnny Walker, but was like beating the shit out of him until that happened. I think this would be two underdogs. I'm going with Tuco Tokkos. Yeah, I'm going to go with Tuco Tokkos over Ivan Erslan. I think he can either submit him or he'll just like have an exuberant amount of control and win a decision that way. Tough fight, over 2.5 rounds. We're going to go with that. That brings us to the main card already. We're flying through this. Which means at the end, I'll talk a little bit about the Netflix card. We have the welterweight division. We have Khaos Williams versus Nikolay Veretennikov. I think the hype train for a Khaos Williams is kind of over. Like, who was his last fight? He was looking very, in his earlier career, Alex Morono, Abdul Razak Al Hassan, lost to Michel Pereira, Matthew Smelsberger. Most recently, he had a split decision with Rolando Bedoya and then beat Carlston Harris. That was 2-3 years ago. And then since then, he's lost to Gabriel Bonfim, Andreas Gustafsson, and now he goes up against Nikolay Veretennikov, who I think is a pretty good striker, a pretty good boxer. He's kind of looked like not really great in his career as well. Last time out, he beat Nico Price, but who hasn't? Before that, he had a fight with Punhel Serranio, where he just got taken down and laid on. And before that, he beat Francisco Prado via split decision. He's been taken down by guys like Austin Vanderford. He went to a split decision with Danny Barlow, and he went to a decision loss with Michael Morales, who's extremely dangerous. So he is very good on the feet. He's just had some very weird fights, and I would pick against him if his opponent was a guy who I know was going to take him down. But I don't think Khaos Williams is going to be looking for the takedown against him. I think this is predominantly going to take place on the feet. So I do definitely favor Nikolay Veretennikov because I think he's going to win a decision. I think he's better on the feet than Khaos Williams. Yeah, I think the hype train for Khaos Williams is over. I see this fight going over 2.5 rounds. If I'm not mistaken, when I was looking before at this fight, it was people don't think it's going to go the distance. I think there's a good chance this fight goes the distance, and it's a decision win for Veretennikov, so that's what I'm going to go with. Over 2.5. Veretennikov, we move up to the bantamweight division. We have Bernardo Sopaj versus Timothy Cuamba. I like Bernardo Sopaj in this fight. I think he's really good. He's a prospect. Obviously, he had that fight with Vinicius Oliveira where he lost. But he came back and beat Ricky Turcios and was able to win a unanimous decision. I don't know. With Timmy Cuamba, he's not bad too. Last fight, he beat Chang Ho Lee, Roberto Romero. He's lost to Balaji Oki and Lucas Almeida. He's not old or anything. I just think it's Bernardo Sopaj's time. I really do think he's a better fighter than his opponent. And I expect this fight to go over 2.5 rounds. I think it'll be decently competitive, but I do think Bernardo Sopaj will win a 29-28 decision here. I don't see him knocking out Timothy Cuamba. I think that it'll be a closely contested fight. And I'm gonna go with Bernardo Sopaj. So Christian Edwards is fighting Modestas Bukauskas. It was supposed to be Rodolfo Bellato, but Modestas Bukauskas got knocked out last time by Nikita Krylov, who wasn't looking too good coming back after being a contender. But he was able to land on Modestas Bukauskas, and he knocked him out from range. Yeah, I was going to pick Modestas Bukauskas to beat Rodolfo Bellato, and I don't know who Christian Edwards is, but he's 8-4, and I do think Modestas Bukauskas is pretty good. He was on a nice win streak before that. If you're going to trade with him in the pocket, it's not always great for him because I like his distance striking more than I like when he just like gets in firefights. Kind of worries me, but I will go with Modestas Bukauskas. I don't know Christian Edwards. It's again very late notice, and I think it's just an advantage for Modestas. I'd hope for a finish. It would be bad for him to get a decision, but it's at a catch weight, so we'll see. I'm sure he'll show up. This fight I'm very excited for in the bantamweight division. Probably the second. This is the second fight on the card that I'm like excited to watch. Besides the main event, Malcolm Wellmaker versus Juan Diaz. Malcolm Wellmaker last time went up against Ethan Ewing, who fought him on like 5 days short notice and ended up beating him. And I really like Ethan Ewing. I picked him against the guy he fought last time, and now he's fighting Javid Basharat or whatever. He's fighting a dude who's now ranked, so he'll be in the rankings very soon. So no shame in that. And I watched that fight back; like it was a closely contended fight. Malcolm Wellmaker did land a lot. His opponent, Juan Diaz, is pretty good, man. Like, he's 15-1 in his professional career, and a Dana White's Contender Series guy. He had this, like, spinning back elbow to knock out Quan Wanol on the Contender Series, and it was just nasty. I do think Malcolm Wellmaker is more of a tactician, and he's a little cleaner than Juan Diaz from what I've seen. Like, I really like the money for this fight to go over 2.5 rounds and give me a Wellmaker decision. I think the fight is favorited not to go the distance, but I do think that these guys will like strike on the feet, and it'll just be 3 rounds of just who wants it more. And I think Malcolm Wellmaker is just gonna win via decision. He's gonna outstrike Juan Diaz, keep the distance, knees up the middle. Like I think he's gonna land a lot, and he's gonna look good in this fight. So I'll take him, and I think it'll be a fun fight, potential for fight of the night, especially if it goes all 3. So we'll go with that. We get to the fucking co-main event. Oh, shit. We have Doo Ho Choi versus Daniel Santos in the featherweight division. Daniel Santos is a slight favorite. He's been on a bit of a winning streak. The thing I don't like about him is I recently looked at his Instagram. He's on a 4-fight win streak. John Castanda, Johnny Munoz, Joy Young Lee, and Joy Sang Yu. And now he's fighting Doo Ho Choi. So he's good against this caliber of opponent, if you catch my drift. But he's pretty fat. Like, I've been looking at his training and his, like, the photos of him, and he just, like, looks very, like, pudgy for his, like, weight. And that really worries me. Because Doo Ho Choi, like, I understand he's, like, a little older, but he's not a bum. Like, he's coming off of 2 wins against Nate Landwehr and Bill Algeo. Now, granted, Nate the Train looked like crap against Cub Swanson, where we picked Cub Swanson, but I don't know. Like, I'm worried for Daniel Santos in this fight. I really am, especially just because of the shape that I saw him in. Doo Ho Choi is still tough. Give me an underdog Doo Ho Choi pick in the co-main event. I'm not going to go with Daniel Santos. I'm going to go with Doo Ho Choi to beat Daniel Santos. Oh my God. And now we get to the main event. There is a bit of a curse going around with, like, you know, not with me, with everybody. It's just not been our year so far. We've had a couple good ones to start it off, but it's just been confusing. Chimaev loses to Strickland. Just a lot of unforeseen things, you know. And for those of you who have predicted those fights right, I mean, good for you. But yeah, we get to Arnold Allen versus Melquizo Costa in the featherweight division. This is a really tough fight. Melquizo Costa is a bit of a favorite. Arnold Allen's faced a much higher caliber of opponent. Melquizo Costa's coming off of a win against Dan Ige, the first dude to knock him out. My thing with Melquizo Costa is he gets fucking tired in his fights towards the 3rd round, and we see that, which kind of scares me a little bit because his opponent has been in 5-round wars. He's been with Max Holloway. He's fought guys like Movsar Evloev in 3 rounds. Like, he's got a pretty good gas tank, I feel like, Arnold Allen. Like, he doesn't tire. And, like, he went to a decision with Julian Erosa, who recently got fucked up by that dude, like, which doesn't look that good, where he kind of got tired in the 3rd round. Morgan Charrier obviously knocked him out. Christian Rodriguez, it's just these opponents are, like, nothing compared to what Arnold Allen's faced. Like, Movsar Evloev, Max Holloway, Dan Hooker, like, Gene Silva, like, oh, it's really tough. Like, I do think that like Arnold Allen's got good pressure. He's probably got better striking than Melquizo Costa too. Like he was taking it to Gene Silva in their fight. Like even though he lost and I, took Gene Silva to win against him, he was still taking it to Gene Silva. It's so tough. It's 5 rounds and Arnold Allen's very good. He's only lost to Max Holloway, where he was in that fight at the end. He stood with him in the pocket, got knocked down, lost the decision. He lost to Gene Silva, who's very good, and then he, lost a controversial decision to Movsar Evloev. How good is Melquizo Costa? We just saw him knock out Dan Ige, and now he's got to go up against Arnold Allen. This is really tough. This is very tough. What, is Melquizo Costa going to knock out Arnold Allen? I don't think so. I was originally going to go with Melquizo Costa for my pick, and I could still see him winning and showing levels, because he'd probably be very close to a title shot if he wins this fight, but fuck. I've got to go with my boy Arnold Allen, and hopefully, he proves me right this time. We're going with a couple underdogs on this card. I just think he's the better fighter, right? He is. He's beat so many dudes, and he's not, deficient in any one area, I don't think, to a point where Melquizo Costa is that much better. And I do see Melquizo Costa get hit in his fights, and I do see him get tired in the later rounds. That being said, I could see it going Melquizo Costa's way, but I'm going with the underdog, Arnold Allen. If it is truly cursed, then Arnold Allen will lose and Melquizo Costa will win, and that's just the way it'll be. But we're going to go with that. And then I'll talk a little bit about the Netflix card before we end the episode, because I don't want to spend too much time on it. And I'm sure it'll be atrocious to watch just because of, it'll just buffer a shit ton and, there'll be a ton of people watching it and you just won't be able to enjoy yourself like you should be able to. Okay, let's just start off with Mike Perry and Nate Diaz, because I don't want to really go into a lot of these fights. Let's do... I think, obviously, Mike Perry's undefeated in the BKFC. He was not very good in the UFC. I mean, if you look at his fights, he gets taken down a shit ton. I remember when he was being coached, he didn't want to pay a coach or manager or something, or not manager, but someone for his corner, so his wife cornered him, which was pretty funny. Nate Diaz last time out, fought, I think, Jorge Masvidal in their boxing fight, which was absolute shit. And he won somehow when I thought he lost. But before that, he fought Jake Paul. Last UFC fight, I think, was Tony Ferguson. This is an MMA fight, though. We have to put that out there. And Mike Perry is a minus 230 favorite. And his ground game is absolute dog shit. We know Nate Diaz... Well, it's not he's a little older, but Nate Diaz is a black belt in BJJ. He's very good on the ground, super good jiu-jitsu. Submitted Conor McGregor in their fight. We remember that. I know that was a long time ago, but and I don't know how much MMA Nate Diaz is really doing. I don't know. It's tough because if it stays on the feet, Mike Perry's definitely got the heavier hands, and he can and he's going to be able to throw against Nate Diaz. But I've seen Nate Diaz survive a lot of shit. Because this is such loose stakes, I honestly want to bet Nate Diaz. I think the longer the fight goes, the better it'll be for him, unless he just gets knocked out by Mike Perry, which is a possibility. But if he gets a hold of Mike Perry, I think he's so deficient in the ground game that he can either try and find a submission or just dominate him on the ground. I do think there's a world where that happens. So I'm going to go with Nate Diaz as an underdog pick. He's a plus 176 underdog, and I'm going to go with him. Okay, we got Francis Ngannou, who's a minus 2,000 favorite, versus Philip Lins. Philip Lins is a former heavyweight in the UFC who was undefeated, I believe, and hasn't fought in I think he got cut or whatever it was 3 years ago. I think he's better than Renan Ferreira, who's Francis Ngannou's last opponent, where he just walked forward, took him down, and just killed him. And that was his only fight in the PFL. Francis Ngannou is worlds better than Philip Lins. I know he's been doing boxing, very little MMA. But what the fuck has Philip Lins been doing too? Not much. KO. He's minus 2,000. It's just about what way you think it happens. I'm going to go with a Francis Ngannou KO in the first round. Or he'll just take him down and ground and pound him. And that'll probably happen in the first round too. He's either going to KO him on the feet or just double leg the dude and he'll just ground and pound him, and then that'll be the fight. We have Junior Dos Santos versus Rebellis Despain, another like just old fucking dudes. I'm going to go with Rebellis Despain because he's had more success more recently in karate combat. He kind of looked like crap in the UFC, only getting 1 win. He just has a very wacky style where he would like literally just go like that. And like, I mean, you know. But he beat Sam Alvey in karate combat, so there's something to be said about that. I don't know. Junior Santos is pretty old, and I just feel like Rebelsis has more youth, and he'll just find the chin of him, and that'll be that. Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano. Last one I'll talk about, and it'll be brief, let me tell you. I find Gina Carano to be more attractive than Ronda Rousey, which I think that will be the biggest takeaway from this video, but Ronda should win. Gina fought in 2009 in Strikeforce at a time when there really wasn't much built up around women's MMA, and I believe she lost to Chris Cyborg. I mean, like, Ronda Rousey, you know, she was the face of MMA. Like, she's beaten a lot of women. Granted, she got stopped by Holly Holm and stuff, but like, I mean, she's a much better fighter than Gina Carano, and she's fought more recently. Like, I think she'll just take her down and beat her up. Like, there's always the element of surprise in a women's fight, but like, Ronda Rousey's just gonna dog her, and it's not gonna be fun. I don't know. I'm not really excited for the event as a whole, but when the boost comes out for the parlay, like, I will make one just to make some money, because I think there's absolute locks on this. Like, Ronda Rousey, I think Rebelsis like easily wins, and Francis is a -200. But if you do Mike Perry and Nate Diaz to maybe go over like 1.5 rounds, I think there's a possibility of that. But I'll make a parlay and I'll put it out, and we'll see. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to the Basement Breakdown, and we will have some Championship 1 picks as well in my community posts. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.